Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk, I held Thomas' diary in my hand and looked at each crumpled page. The red lines were stained like old blood. The loop was almost complete, just needing one more person. I knew I was holding the last link. I didn't know if burning this book would actually break the ritual, but I felt that if I let it exist any longer, I wouldn't be sane enough to escape it. I prepared a metal basin and placed it in the middle of the secret room. I wrapped the diary in a layer of old newspaper and lit it. The fire flared up more fiercely than I expected. The smell of burning paper mixed with the smell of rotting leather and a stench like burnt hair made me nauseous. But I didn't take my eyes off the fire. The pages twisted and shriveled into ashes, but then I realized something horrifying. The fire didn't burn evenly like normal. There was a page that kept burning and then burning and then burning and never stopped. I used a small iron bar to pick it up and saw a layer of red ink appear, gradually becoming darker with each stroke as if it was regenerating. On the half-burned paper, a new line of text tone appeared right before my eyes. You are not allowed to erase. UC felt the floor shake slightly. The heat in the room no longer came from the fire, but from the walls themselves. The air thickened, the light from the flashlight began to flicker as if something was interfering. Then from the middle of the fire basin the ashes flew up, forming a blurry spiral, and immediately after that the sound of footsteps echoed from the four corners of the wall. I froze my whole body. Each heavy step slowly echoed as if the people who had been called were now returning. I looked towards the corner of the room, which was always darker than the rest, and for the first time, I clearly saw a figure, black with no face, just a shape, floating in the darkness, not approaching, but I felt its gaze deep and cold. As I shouted, I did not call you, I am not Thomas. There was no answer, just a terrifying silence. Then a voice from nowhere echoed around me throughout the room, you are the last threat. After that sentence, the fire went out, everything, the light disappeared. The room was plunged into absolute darkness. I couldn't see my hands. I couldn't breathe, as if the air was being sucked out. An invisible force pressed on my chest, making me fall to the floor. I tried to crawl out of the room using all my strength to open the door before I passed out. I woke up the next morning on the living room floor. Everything was quiet, as if nothing had happened. But my hands were covered in ash. My shirt was scorched on my shoulder, and my left hand had a circular red burn. I walked to the secret room, but the door was closed, as if it had never been opened. I knocked but heard nothing, only my own echoey thought I had ended it, but deep in my heart I knew the loop hadn't stopped. I hadn't burned the truth, I had only touched the surface. Watch the next episode to see what happens when I receive an unsent letter with the same handwriting as Thomas and placed right on my pillow.